Hello there! Lord Xenon here with part 2 of the Summoner's Guide to Instances in Final Fantasy XIV. I attempted to record this earlier and realized when I got done with the dungeon that I had not actually been recording it. So we're gonna play as Sastasha again and hopefully do a little better commentary this time. Okay, so, first things first, in any dungeon, greet the party. Hi there. I need to use Ether Flow to get my Ether Flow stacks. I have my summon already. That's good. Okay, so when running as an Arcanist / Summoner, as a general rule, for these early levels, you just want to start picking targets one by one and dropping your dots on them. So, target, miasma, bio. Target, miasma, bio. Making sure that somebody you have selected your pet to target by using the obey command. As discussed in part 1, you want obey on at all times so that your pet is not using any abilities that you don't want him to. Typically, you won't be in early dungeons making holes this large. This tank is confident in the fact that this is a very easy dungeon and it's not difficult to get it's not difficult to kill any enemies in here. Or to stay alive when faced by a bunch of enemies in here. So for the first few pulls, it's very easy. Simply take on targets one by one. Now, when you get into the room with these giant clams, you want to take out the clams first, as they're going to be spawning more and more of these enemies. I don't know why the rest of the party isn't taking on the clams. All in all, I think the first run of this went a little more smoothly than this one, but it's a good example that you just never know what you're going to get in dungeons sometimes, and it's time, and you just need to adjust. In reality, you can pretty much just go willy-nilly in this dungeon and not have a problem. This dungeon is not designed to be really that challenging in any way, shape, or form. But always when you're in this encounter with the clam, kill the clam first. It's invulnerable when it's closed, but it takes quite a bit of damage when it's open. So focus your fire on it when it's open, now I'm just going to go back to targeting one by one. Miasma, Bio. Miasma, Bio. Occasionally throw in a energy drain if I have ether flow up, which currently I do not. Miasma, Bio. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so, you remember how I said it's probably not a good idea to take too large of a pull in early dungeons because you're not as, it's because they sink your level, and if you're used to playing 50, 60, or 70 dungeons, you get to the point where you're used to being extremely overgeared and able to take on enormous pulls, and well, that doesn't always work when you're playing the lower level dungeons and you're synced. So let this be a lesson to you. Green. Also, I'm going to take the opportunity to look at that memo, and there's a color on it, and that color indicates which coral to touch later on. Oh, okay, so the healer actually did manage to res. Well, that's unfortunate. That kind of puts me in between some enemies. Okay, this was a mistake on my part. I made a wrong turn. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the healer to raise me this time. I didn't realize this is how we're going to be doing it. This is normally not how you run this particular dungeon, but this is good. This is going to give you examples of how even early level dungeons you can't assume that you can just breeze past it if you're not paying attention to mechanics. Okay, so what are we going to do? Oh, we are by the boss. Okay, good. Now, because I read that note, I knew that it was green, so I could tell the party that it's green. If you touch the wrong one, enemies appear and the person who touched it gets poisoned. If you get it right, the switch appears and then the boss appears. Alright, the tank's going to pick up the boss. You're going to stand back and just start blasting. Put the dots on, and then just keep spamming Ruin until the dots fall off, in which case you're going to want to refresh them. Use your ether flow and your energy charge, or your what's that? And energy drain. I'm sorry, I used it so little I forgot what it was called. So our tank was having some camera problems. Okay, that's actually not, or that's actually completely understandable. Alright, what we got? Plundered Jacket. Not something that I need, but I will greed. When rolling for loot, you can need, greed, or pass. Need you can only do if it's something you can use on the character as you have it equipped. Greed, you can always roll greed. Well, unless you have a loot limit, but that's only in high-level content. Greed means I can't use it on my current character, but I could potentially use it for something else, so I want it. And so you roll greed on it. If you don't want it at all, roll pass. I will admit, I am not playing at my best on this. Ooh, we're getting special. Now, we're in the second boss room. The boss is Captain Madison, and you only actually have to get him down to 50% health, and he'll run away like a scared little coward that he is. Normally, you don't pull additional enemies into a boss room like this, but this tank is getting hold on us. As long as the healer can keep him or her healthy, that shouldn't be an issue. But, well, we all saw what happened earlier. And again, nothing against this party. This is clearly an experienced party that wasn't wanting to play a level 15 dungeon. So they're trying to get through it as quickly as possible, but sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And just know, if you're a new player, especially running through this is the kind of experience you can have. And know that this is not necessarily the way the dungeon is supposed to be run, but because it's such old content, very often this is how it is run. So just be ready to be ready to roll with the punches, and always follow the tank's lead. I'll roll greed on the Ash Wand in case I ever want to play a Conjurer on this character. I don't know if I'm ever going to play a Conjurer on this character or not, but let's keep our options open. Alright, our tank's going to make another big pull here, and that's fine. Alright, so I'm just going to start casting dots. Oh, I already have dots on that guy. Keep refreshing ether flow and casting energy drain whenever at all possible. Especially if you're down a little bit on HP and MP. My sister-in-law is online, which means she's probably going to be playing this before too long. Which means my brother is probably also online. Alright, this guy's going to pull all four of these guys, which is fine. Because again, we're going to need to kill all of them eventually. Now, one of the enemies in our last encounter dropped a key. That key opens the door that's up ahead that says Captain's Quarters. We're going to need to get into that door and kill the enemy inside there to get the key for that gate over there that says Wave Rider Gate. And I'm just going to keep refreshing my dots. Get ether flow back up. I'm going to save my energy drain for the captain. Well, not the captain, the guy in the captain's quarters. Now, I lied when I said this was entirely a high-level party. Clearly, the tank and the healer are higher level. Tank is playing a Dark Knight. You have to at least have finished all of the 2.x story and get into the first expansion before you can even play Dark Knight. And the healer is a white mage, which means he's probably at, or which means he has to be at least level 30. Now the other DPS is a pugilist, which means he has not upgraded to the monk job, which means he is not quite level 30 yet. So he is, and he still has the sprout like I do, indicating a new player. I, of course, am not actually a new player. This is an alternate character, but for all intents and purposes, this character is new, having not been even past the first dungeon yet. Alright, second verse, same as the first. This is basically Captain Madison Part 2, and it's fought very much like Captain Madison Part 1. Drop your dots on everybody. Now, last time Captain Madison left at about 50% health. This time, at 50, oh shoot. What happened? Okay. Well, let's see what happens here. Alright, so the healer managed to resurrect the... Oh, wow. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. The tank went down. The healer managed to resurrect the tank. So the tank now has hate back on Captain Madison. Now, this is what's supposed to happen here. At 50% health, he releases the Scurvy Dogs. Tank picked up the ads as is customary. So now I will whittle down these Scurvy Dogs, and then when Captain Madison gets down to about 25, never mind, 20. There we go. Then he'll flee again, like the scared little coward that he is. That is a shield that I don't need, but I will greet it. Alright, this is the last room. Or the second to last room, I should say. There is the boss chamber yet. Okay, healer is casting Protect. Good. Alright, we are pulling everything. Okay, here we go. Problem is, Arcanist and Summoner do not get area of effect or AoE attacks until level 30. So, making large pulls is not really as effective as you might think it is in these early dungeons. Now, in later dungeons, or if you have a character that can use AoEs at a low level, then yeah, drawing large enemies and having the DPS AoE them down is generally a faster way to run dungeons than taking smaller groups. Again, we are in a situation where we really don't have enough sufficient AoE attacks to really make the big pulls faster. But again, you follow the lead. You follow the tank's lead. The tank is the one that sets the pace, not you. So if the tank wants to make big pulls, you follow the tank. Now, the tank must have some responsibility to not pull so much that the healer can't keep up, And if he's going to make big pulls, he needs to make sure he's maintaining hate on all the big pulls. But this tank has done a good job at that. So, again, really no complaints about this party. They're doing it a little, not in the way that the dungeon is intended to be run, but you're going to run this dungeon all sorts of different ways. Alright, so, this guy. We are probably going to run this in what I would call the burn strat. Normally you would be going around to these unnatural ripples and stopping them when they start bubbling up to keep additional enemies, also known as adds, from spawning during the fight. However, this boss is so easy to defeat that if you just hold the DPS on him, you can completely ignore the ripples and kill it long before the adds become an issue. So we're going to ignore the bubbles and just keep pushing the boss. And the healer did not heal the tank. Okay, well, this is going to be a little more interesting. But again, you adjust. Okay. Thank the party. Oh, the only one left for me to send the commendation to is the Pugilist. That's alright. The Pugilist is who I was going to send the commendation to anyway. And I'll go into the coffer, and I'm going to roll on these Acolyte half clubs. I don't really need them. They're not as they're equivalent in strength to what I already have equipped, but they have a different look to them. So I might decide to just get a different look than what I currently have on my character. I might drop them into the glamour chest and just get a different outfit for this character. And I got a commendation. Yay! Okay, so that was Sastasha, a not ideal run of Sastasha, but again, every so often you're going to run into these, and you just need to know how to adjust. Hopefully most of your runs of Sastasha are going to be a little more organized than that one was, but again, you just never know what you're going to run into when you play the dungeon, so we're going to keep this as our guide to Sastasha. Because you just never know what you're going to get. So, on our next video, we're going to go through the second dungeon, the Temtara Deepcroft. I've already got it queued up and ready to go, but I will probably save the recording of that dungeon for another time. And until that time, you have a wonderful day, and enjoy all of your adventures in Eorzea.